Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up, everyone? This is BoxingWave. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. And follow me on all social media platforms, Twitter and Instagram at BoxingWave10. All right, real quick. I will be covering the DAZN Demetrius Andrade versus Liam Williams fight today, this afternoon. I should be on around 3 p.m., maybe a little earlier. I will put a schedule with a time right after I do this video. Okay, so I'll be back today, and I'm going to talk about the Showtime card now that's coming up, but I'm definitely going to talk more about it while I'm on live later on this afternoon. Now, as far as the Fight TV, Ben Askren against Jake Paul thing, I'm most likely not going to cover that fight. I do want to cover I do want to watch some of the undercards like Regis Prograde, but I do have plans for later on this evening, and I'm not going to cancel the plans to cover that fight, that whole card, even though I like Regis Prograde a lot. I'm just not going to cover it just for that one fight. I really don't want to see Jake Paul fight, so but I'll be here for the DAZN Demetrius Andrade. I will put the schedule up probably around 3 p.m. and I'll probably go over the whole card so we could just, how we normally do, just chat and talk boxing and cover the fights. And then if you haven't seen my video on that, you can check it out. I posted a video discussing that fight and all the other upcoming fights for this weekend. I gave you all of my predictions and everything like that. All right. So let's get into it. Let's pull up this rollout. Now, this is going to be a quick chat. I have to go to the barber shop in 30 minutes. So I'm only going to be on like 20, 25 minutes tops. I got to get that haircut. It's been a minute. So what's up, everyone that's coming in? Zach D, the working man, Noah George, Johan, Uncle Arthur, Haldon Gore, and God of War is in here. All right. Shout out to everyone that's here. Make sure you hit that like button. All right. So let's talk about this card. And I have the photo that Showtime posted up. The upcoming schedule from now pretty much until September. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be more PBC fights in the upcoming months. But this is the actual schedule for, what's up, Eddie Morales? What's going on? This is the upcoming schedule for Showtime. All right, so we know how that worked. Is Showtime is PBC on Fox. PBC is on different networks. So this is just Showtime. All right. Now, overall, there's 9 fights here. And for the most part, I actually like the fights. I actually like the most of the fights. So let's get through it. So the first fight, we got Louis Neri against Brandon Figueroa. All right, this is for the WBC Super Bantamweight World Championship. I like this fight. And I think it makes to be a good fight. Louis Neri, a guy that was in 118 for a good portion of his career. Big puncher, good boxer, and big puncher. And Brandon Figueroa, just like his brother, action fighters, sluggers, pressure fighters, throw a lot of punches, take a lot of hits, no defense. I can see this fight going either way. I will break down it eventually, and I will actually break down the division because I don't think I've done a 122 video in a while. I've talked about 115, 118, 130, 135. I haven't done a video on 122 as a whole in a long time. So I do want to give an update on this division, who's there, who's the champions. And they also have here Stephen Fulton Jr., who recently won a title at 122. He is going to fight the winner of this fight. So whoever wins this fight is going to be fighting Stephen Fulton Jr., which is great. Yeah, shout out to Philly. So that's excellent right there. That's excellent. I have no problem with this fight, and I have no problem with the winner fighting Stephen Fulton, so we can have a unified champion. This is great news. 122 is moving. We're getting the fights that we want to get. And this is the way it's supposed to be. Unfortunately, like I feel like the smaller divisions or the divisions where don't have the biggest names are more likely, the fighters are more likely going to unify, fight each other and stuff like that. Whereas the guys with the bigger names are less likely going to unify. And, you know, there's always going to be drama in between, you know, trying to get the fights together and stuff like that, all the diva shit. So I feel like 122 is one of those divisions where we're going to probably get most of the fights that we want to see. All right. Olaf the Mighty, what's up? Eddie Morales, Noah George, everyone that's here. All right, so let's get it going. So we have Tank Davis against Mario Barrios. Now, this is for the WBA. They put the WBA Super Lightweight World Championship. That is not the Super Lightweight World Championship. I believe the Super Lightweight World Championship is being held at 140 by either Josh Taylor or Jose Ramirez. I'm going to let you know right now. All right. So the WBA is held by Josh Taylor. All right. And Mario Barrios holds the world title. And not recently, it's been a little while, but Leonard Ellaby did an interview where he was basically addressing this title thing, because we all kind of know what's going on. Us boxer fans know what the WBA and how they are with these funny titles. They have a lot of titles. They have a ranking system, which is ridiculous most of the time. And then they have a bunch of titles. They have the super title. They have the world title. They have the gold title. They have, you know, the interim title. They have a bunch of stuff there, right? A lot of people, they're getting a lot of belt money. All right. So Tank Davis, he's going to 140 to fight this guy. Mario Barrios, I believe he's undefeated. You know, let's pull up his record real quick. And he had a good knockout win on that Leo Santa Cruz on the card not too long ago. I think back in December. All right. We was here against Ryan Carl, Cowboy Carl. That was a good slugfest. And he had a crazy knockout in that fight. So that was his last fight. And he is undefeated. He is undefeated. All right. He doesn't have any signature wins yet, though. But at 140, he's young. He's only 25 years old. He's huge compared to Tank. He's 5'10". He has a 71-inch reach. And Tank is 5'5.5". He has a 67.5-inch reach. All right. But again, what's up, Captain Crochet? What's going on, bro? Again, this fight is not a bad fight. It's not a bad fight. What makes this fight intriguing is the fact that Barrios is much larger than Tank Davis. But outside of that, there's no substance here. There's no one asking and demanding this fight. This is just another fight that it makes me question. So if Tank Davis can move to 140 and fight for a regular title at 140, what's stopping him from fighting all of the real guys at 130 and 135? What's stopping him from fighting a Teofimo Lopez or Ryan Garcia or a Devin Haney or a Vasyl Lomachenko, who was at 130 not too long ago before he moved up to 135? And if he's not going to fight those guys, what is the problem with him fighting any of the top guys at 130? So if you're going to go to 140, this means that size is no longer a factor when it comes to Tank, right? So you're going to go and skip over all of those top guys at 135 to fight a bigger guy, but you're not going to fight those guys at 135. Plus, we already got to add, he already has won a junior title with the WBA at 135 by beating Yuriorkis Gamboa, who was also on the schedule. We'll talk about him in a moment. What is the point of this fight here? This is not you going up 2 divisions and daring to be great. This is not Kell Brook against Gennady Golovkin. This is not Mikey Garcia against Errol Spence. This is not Canelo Alvarez against Sergey Kovalev. What is this exactly? What are we doing here? You know, like, it's just, you're going to skip all these guys that we really want to see you fight. Oscar Valdez, Shakur Stevenson, Chris Colbert, who is, he's the mandatory or he's the interim title holder or something like that at 130 for his title. No unifications, no fights at 135. We're just going to skip this whole division, go up to 140 and fight a guy that is a good fighter, but he's unproven. So it's not a bad fight because size is the equalizer. Size here, the size difference, it's what make it a challenging fight. But this is no different than Canelo fighting Rocky Fielding. You know, we knew Rocky was much taller at the time, but none of us cared because we already know what Canelo can do. We already know what he can do. This is no different from that fight. The only difference is at least Canelo fought the guys in his divisions before he moved up and did the Rocky Fielding thing. The Rocky Fielding thing was like, yeah, this guy is huge compared to him. They're having their face off. This guy is huge, but we already know what Tank can do. He has to be careful, though, here. If this fight, and this is the last thing I'm going to say because I got to keep it moving. This is the last thing. Hopefully there's no catch weight. Because if there's a catch weight involved with this fight, then this is really, that just made it a mismatch. I don't think it's a mismatch. I think Tank should be winning this fight. But if there's some kind of like weight advantage here, where you're going to cut this guy down that's been fighting at 140 for a minute, just to have some sort of advantage, then really, what is the point of this fight? Why are we getting this fight? What is going on with this? All right. So that's my thoughts on the fight. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Shout out to everyone here. Joe, perfect analogy. Yeah, man. The Canelo thing, Canelo fought the guys at 160 before he moved up to 168 to fight Rocky Fielding. He fought everybody. He fought Triple G and a number of other fighters. But, you know, he fought Daniel Jacobs at 160. You know, afterwards, but still. So anyway, let's move on. So listen, if you're just joining us, I'm going to be on here quick. I will be here this afternoon to cover Demetrius Andre fight, the card. Louis Neri against Brandon Figueroa is great. And Stephen Fulton is fighting the winner of that. That's great. So I already addressed that. Guillermo Rigondeaux is going to be fighting John Rio Casimiro for Casimiro's WBO championship. I like this fight because I don't know. Rigo could possibly still have a lot left in the tank. I don't know how much he has in the tank. All right. He has won a couple fights since the Lomachenko loss, but I like the fight. It's not a great fight. It's not an amazing fight, but I love this fight because I don't know how much left Rigo has. And if he has anything good left, which I think he will, he has the power and he has the boxing ability to actually win this fight, depending on how he fights Casimiro. Casimiro, we already know he's a huge puncher. He's very explosive. All right, but Rigo, the reason why I love this fight, and I love both 118 fight, I'm going to get to the other fight in a minute. The reason why I love this fight is because styles make fights. And I think if Rigo is done, Casimiro is going to put him away. If he's really done, if he's way far past it, he's done. Casimiro is going to get him out of here. But if he has anything left in the tank, I can see him taking away from Casemiro's. Like, I could see him slow down the pace. All right. And he also has power. And Casemiro has been knocked out before. All right. Rico has power as well. So I can definitely see someone getting knocked out on this fight. I love this fight. I love this fight. And if Rico is like, again, if he has anything left, yo, man, he can win this fight. But we could see him really get knocked out too. All right. We've seen Rico down before. We've seen him pretty much quit against Lomachenko. But if he has anything left, we'll see. I like the fight. I like the fight. It's not a great fight. It's not an amazing fight, but I love this fight. I love it for me. All right, so let's move on. Shout out to everyone that's coming in. AEK, Edna, Brendan, the greatest. Mini Max Boxing's in the building. What's up? So let's talk about it. Nordine Ubali is going to be fighting Nonito Donaire. I think this was a fight that we were supposed to get. I should have looked it up. I think we were supposed to get this fight back in like December or November. All right. But listen, we already know how I feel. This is actually one of my favorite divisions. Because all of these top guys really fight each other, you know. Again, we have Inoue, we have Casemiro, we have Ubali, we got Rigo, we got Donaire. These guys pretty much, Inoue is probably, I don't know what Inoue is going to do next, but we need to get to Casemiro. We need to get to, you know, Ubali is going to be fighting Donaire. I like that Donaire is still around. He's still kicking ass. He's still, you know, he's at 118. A guy that's that big, that powerful, gave Inoue an amazing fight. I like this fight, man. And I think this fight can really go either way. I think Donaire definitely has to win. He definitely has to win this fight. If Donaire loses this fight, and this the only thing, I think I would definitely pick Donaire to win this one. But he hasn't fought since 2019, and he is an older guy. That Inoue fight was his last fight. All right. Is Donaire the one that had COVID? Someone had COVID. I can't remember. Let me know in the comments. Who had COVID? Why was the fight rescheduled? What happened with this fight? This fight was supposed to have happened last year, late last year. Yeah. Okay. All right. But Ubali is a good fighter. I think I would have leaned towards him for sure. Or I think I would have leaned towards Donaire. But Ubali might pick up this win. He is a very good boxer. He is I don't think he has the power and explosiveness as Donaire. But he's very good. He beat Inoue's little brother. I think he was on the other card of that fight. I think he was on the other card of Inoue versus Donaire. I think that was on the same night. All right. Donaire had a false positive test. All right. All right. Tech Lit, what's up, bro? All right. So listen, I love this fight too. 118. We always get in the fights we want. We always get in the fights we want. But we're coming to a close all of this because we already had the World Boxing Super Series. All right. Inoue won that, but we had a lot of good fights in there. There's some that we didn't get. You know, Casemiro wasn't in the tournament. Rigo wasn't in the tournament. There's still fights that we still need to get. But I think we're coming to some sort of closure. And I think within a year, we can possibly have an undisputed champion or something like that. All right. But I think this fight, I think Inoue, who holds 2 titles, he's unified. He should be either fighting the winner of Ubali versus Donaire or Rigo against Casemiro. I think that should be first, because he hasn't fought neither one of those guys. And people really want to see the Casemiro fight. I know I do. All right. But if Rigo wins, then I would love to see Inoue against Rigo. And then since he already fought Donaire, if Donaire happens to beat Ubali, we could get that rematch. But that was my favorite fight of that year. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's talk about Chris Colbert against Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now, if y'all follow me on Twitter, I already had made a couple jokes about this fight. I just don't know why they keep sending Yuriorkis Gamboa in there with the Wolves. And I know people will look at Chris Colbert's record and his resume and say, oh, this is his toughest challenge. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. We got to stop doing that. Chris Colbert's toughest challenge was his last opponent, who he absolutely destroyed. All right. Gamboa, once upon a time, would have been a tough opponent, but it's been a long time since then. Arboleda would destroy Gamboa. Jaime Arboleda, that's the last fighter that Colbert fought that he destroyed. Arboleda would destroy Yuriorkis Gamboa right now. You know what I'm saying? Just like when who's this guy? Who fought Gamboa recently? Devin Haney. Devin Haney fought Yuriorkis Gamboa off of the win against Santiago. I believe Santiago would have beat Gamboa in his current state. It is what it is. Gamboa was an amazing fighter. He was one of my favorite fighters back in the day. But this is a terrible fight. Chris Colbert is going to destroy Yuriorkis Gamboa, and he's going to do it better than Tank Davis. He's going to do it better than Devin Haney. He is going to annihilate Yuriorkis Gamboa. This is a terrible fight. And I know Chris Colbert, again, Chris Colbert is up and coming. You know what I'm saying? He is up and coming. I think he's a little bit past where I think he should be fighting at a high state. He should be fighting Tank Davis. Chris Colbert is an elite fighter. He should be fighting other elite fighters. We're still waiting on that. But his last opponent was a better test than this. This is not a real test. This is a name. This is not a test. This is a name. This is one of the worst. No. This might be tied for the worst fight. Okay, we'll get there. You guys know where I'm going with this. This is not a good fight. Now, I like Chris Colbert, so I'm going to support him. I'm going to watch the fight, but he's going to destroy Yuriorkis. This is not a test for him. Shakur Stevenson is a test. You know, he should be fighting the top fighters. He should be fighting Diaz or Farmer. He should be fighting for a title soon. Or if not for a title, he should be fighting one of the very best fighters at 130. He's too good for fighting guys like Gamboa right now. Miguel Berchelt, he should be fighting. You know? I mean, but Berchelt's not going to fight a guy like that on his first fight back after that loss. But Gamboa is beneath him at this point. You know what would be a good fight? You know what would be a good fight for Chris Colbert if he's not going to fight one of the top elite guys, like the top 5, top 6 guys? Maybe a Lamont Roach Jr. You know? Lamont Roach, good fight. I like that fight. I like that fight. You know? Lamont Roach lost to Jamel Herring, but it was a good fight. That's a good fight. Punch Drunk, what's up, brother? Thank you for the donation, man. Shout out to my guy, Punch Drunk. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Jamel, Charlo, and Jamal Charlo is not related. LOL. Is Gamboa PBC's car crash dummy? Rigo versus Casemiro is great. Absolutely. Charlo versus Castaño is great. Best fight on this card. Smash that like NYC in the building. Shout out to my guy, man. Salute. And make sure you guys subscribe to him. Yeah. We're not going to keep talking about this trash. All right. This is a trash fight. David Benavidez against Jose Uzcategui is a fight that is not trash, but it's not a fight that anyone needs to care about. We already know, again, David Benavidez has proven time and time again he's above these kind of fighters. You know? But I'm not blaming him because no one really wants to fight him right now. Part of it is his fault, though, because he doesn't have anything of value. He doesn't have anything of value. Speaking my sports talk, what's up, bro? What's good? I didn't even see you in here. What's good? Make sure you subscribe to him. All the channels that's in here. Captain Crochet subscribes to his channel. Mini Max Boxing. You know, all the channels that's coming in. Punch Drunk. Make sure you subscribe to all of their channels. Yeah. Damn, I got a haircut appointment. I gotta be out. All right. Damn. I got a haircut appointment. This guy's going to come in. I'm going to be late, but I'll give it a few more minutes. All right. David Benavidez, Jose Uzcategui. Uzcategui is not done. He lost a Plant. He was a champion. He did beat some good fighters. So it's not a bad fight. It's just like, it's not bad, but it's not like we already know what Benavidez is going to do to him. You know? We already know what's going on with that, you know? Wait, Uzcategui just lost to Lionel Thompson? I didn't even know that. Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't see that fight. Bro, I didn't even know that. Oh, okay. So this really makes the fight not really. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did lose. Oh, man. Yeah, Benavidez doesn't matter win or lose. He's going to destroy this guy. Yeah, Benavidez is going to destroy him. He's going to destroy him. All right, that's a stoppage waiting to come. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about the real fight on this card, the best fight on this card. Jermall Charlo against Brian Castano, 154, undisputed. Undisputed. All right, undisputed fight. Love this fight. Jermall Charlo is making history. He's giving us the fight. He's fighting all the top dogs at 154. Had a little slip up, losing to Tony Harrison, but won, avenged his loss, got the stoppage. He's fighting the best. Where's Jared Hurd? Where's Hurd at? I would love to see him back in the ring soon. I hope he's not one of those fighters that lose and just kind of fall off, man. I hope he's not. I know his return wasn't too impressive. All right, but Jermall Charlo is doing his thing. Shout out to Brian Castano. Very good, very respected 154 fighter. A lot of people think he won against Lara. That was a close fight. I thought the draw was fair. But this is undisputed. This is the real fight. And this fight is the best fight by far and one of the best upcoming fights, period, that's scheduled. Undisputed, and it's a legit undisputed. Brian Castano just won the title recently against what's his name? And I actually like that he won against Patrick Cesaro. That's right. And you know what? I like Patrick Cesaro. You know, he had his good fight with Carlos Adames. That was a good win. But Brian Castano is better than Patrick Cesaro, and he's a better challenge for Jermall Charlo. I didn't want Jermall Charlo against Patrick Cesaro to be the undisputed one. You know, that would have took away from the fight a little bit. This is a much far better fight. So I'm happy about this fight. You know, Hurd lost his old man. Not sure is he mentally ready. I didn't know he lost his old man. I knew Tony Harrison lost his old man. I did not know Hurd lost his father too. Is that true? Because someone, I had no idea, bro. Fred Hurd Sr. Absolutely. Damn. I didn't know. And I apologize. I did not know. I apologize. Rest in peace to his father. I did not know. So I can see why he's been taking the time off. Hopefully he could get back strong. We know Tony Harrison actually fights today as well. He recently lost his father. Damn. That's tough, man. You guys know how close me and my dad are, so that's got to be tough. All right. But Jermall Charlo against Brian Castano was by far the best fight on this card. So I can't wait to see that. You know, if it's pay-per-view, whatever it is, I support undisputed pay-per-views. Undisputed pay-per-views is good in any weight division. You know, you fighting the best, you know, great unifications or between top fighters and pay-per-views. Like if Josh Taylor was a pay-per-view, I definitely pay that. That's a top fight right there. You know, this is a great fight. I love that Jermall is fighting the top fighters at the division. He's not ducking anyone. All right. And he's not just looking for a check. Now, before I get out of here, Jermall Charlo against Juan Montiel. This is probably the worst fight on this schedule. I don't know what it is the worst fight on the schedule. It is because like I really don't like the Chris Colbert Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, but at the same time, Chris Colbert is not a champion. Chris Colbert is not a 2-division champion like Jermall Charlo. I know Juan Montiel just dusted off James Kirkland, an older James, 37 years old James Kirkland that hasn't really been that active since his Canelo loss, which was 6 years ago or something. Crazy. That fight doesn't warrant a championship opportunity. Very disappointing, Jermall Charlo. Very disappointed. And I love the twins. Those are my guys. But this is unacceptable. This is probably one of the weakest fights on his resume since he's been a champion. This is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And I'm starting to feel like, even same with Tank Davis. You know, I don't want to include him in this statement, but I'm starting to feel like Jermall is really comfortable with just getting these checks and making these fights. You know, I really feel that way. He's not interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade. You know, he's calling out Canelo and Triple G. But who isn't at this point? You know, I would love for Triple G to fight him. But if Triple G doesn't fight you, and Canelo, who's actually taking good fights consistently, isn't going to fight you. He's fighting Billy Joe Saunders next month. You know, he's trying to become undisputed. What do? You just fight randoms? I mean, you beat Deverenchenko, which is a good fight, but that's not a career-defining win either. Not at the time that you beat him. I just don't get it. Jermall Charlo and the fights at 160 are just not enough. Dennis Hogan. None of these fights are like, who cares? This is, I don't know what's going on with Jermall, man, but this got to stop. I'm a big fan. You guys know how I feel about the twins. Those are my guys, but what is Jermall doing at 160? You know, I loved him at 154. 154, we was getting on the fights at 160. I understood when he first got there. Yeah, fighters weren't eager to get in the ring with you, but, you know, years later now, I mean, like, what's the excuse now? You know, very, very disappointing news. Definitely the worst fight on this card. And it's totally unacceptable, man. This is not how you do it. You know, he fought Highland. I just pulled up his box rec. He hasn't fought at 154 since 2016, so it's been 5 years. He fought J-Rock. He fought Austin Trout. He fought Wilkie Canfor. He fought Cornelius Bunridge. All right? Then he goes up to 160, fights Highland, who was a mandatory for that title back then, or the #1 ranked guy. He had a wooden leg, so that wasn't really a fight. Not that it was going to be anyway, because he was going to get knocked out anyway by Jermall. He fought Hugo Centeno Jr., who was like, okay, hasn't proven anything since, has lost several times since that fight. He fought Matt Korobov on a replacement. Willie Monroe would have been a decent fight, but Willie Monroe tested positive for something. So he fought Matt Korobov. Matt Korobov showed up shockingly in great condition, even though he was inactive for a long time. Former champion back then. Many people think he lost the Korobov fight. I was there that night. I can tell you in the building, people thought he lost, at least in the area that I was sitting. You know, I think he saved himself towards the end because Korobov, the much older Korobov, slowed down in the later rounds and Jamal rallied and hurt him late, but Brandon Adams, another fighter, good fighter, not a bad fight, stay busy fight. But Brandon Adams is a 154 fighter. So is Dennis Hogan. What's going on? Sergey Deverenchenko, best fighter on his resume at 160, but he just got battered by Triple G. You know, and that's a fight that I think he outperformed Triple G, but again, he got battered in that fight. He did good against Triple G, but he got beat down. Even whether you thought he won or lost, he took a lot of punishment. I don't know what's up with Jamal, man, but this is unacceptable, man. All right, very disappointing. But yo, I gotta run, guys, because I gotta go. Haircut appointment is at oh crap, it's in 2 minutes. I will be back here at 3 p.m. to talk more about the schedule and to cover the fights coming up. So I'll be back here. Make sure you tune in. I'll see you guys soon. All right. Gotta run. Peace.